All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about sprint training here, and of course, this is the area that's most in my comfort zone. So I'm hoping I can keep this one a little shorter and to the point and specific. I'm going to throw jumps in with this too. I'm not going to say as much about jumps, but really, in most of my experience as a track and field coach, at the levels I've coached, high school and small college, really the sprint training is a big part of the jumper training. Jumpers need to be fast and they need to have some endurance, and so sprint training works great for that. A lot of times what I do is I just throw some specific jump workouts in, usually about once a week. Jumpers end up working on technique usually a couple times a week, which is really specific jump training because they do modified, short run jumps and that type of thing, which is plyometric also. So, the jump training is a lot of times maybe a couple days a week with the sprinters, and then a couple days a week really focusing on their specific events, which also gets them a lot of the plyometric type of training. And in case that's an unfamiliar term to you, plyometrics are just really like bounding, jumping type of drills that are explosive and work the legs and really a lot of times the full body, but it's like jumping types of things. The most common plyometric types of things I use is just bounding drills and then jumps like standing long jump, standing triple jump. Sometimes you can do plyometric stuff on the stairs, that works too, but any type of bounding and jumping is a plyometric. From a training type of thing, you got to be a little careful with plyometrics. I've heard anything from 48 hours to 2 to 3 days to really recover from a hard plyo workout. So, generally what I try to do is do running types of workouts on a Monday. Jumpers will do a lot of jumping usually on a Tuesday, and then on a Wednesday try not to jump but do sprinting again, and then on a Tuesday you're going to jump again. Sometimes it's hard to get jumpers to do max velocity types of stuff because they're jumping so much, and that's kind of too bad. It's probably better to work that in, but you have to be careful. So, what I try to do is maybe 1 week give them a max velocity, and then a couple weeks we'll just jump and then try to get a max velocity in again. Because again, the max velocity is important training for jumpers, but you got to be careful about overtraining. I think it's the hardest with jumpers because they're doing so much jumping, and you got to give them recovery. So anyway, let me get to the sprint training. I'm going to put some documents up on the website that go into more detail. I'm going to try to keep it pretty simple here. With sprint training, there's 3 basic areas that I want to train. One is sprint endurance, I'll just call it. There can be more specifics within sprint endurance, but really what you're trying to do is increase the power and the strength and the endurance of the sprinter. So these would be longer intervals typically. Sometimes they're not super long, but the goal is the same. You're trying to increase the athlete's ability to sprint for a longer period of time, and also to sprint more efficiently. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more pretty soon, but efficiency is a huge thing. The second type of workout for sprinters is acceleration. This is a big focus because 60, 100, 200, 400 acceleration is a big part of the race. So we spend at least 1 to 2 days a week focusing on acceleration. And then the last one's max velocity. And max velocity is just sprinting fast. That's really what it is. Sprint as fast as you can. And you want to make sure that's in your sprint program. It's very important. I feel like there's a number of goals that you have with sprinters, and basically the goals are this: make the athlete faster, make the athlete stronger, which would be the power, and then efficiency. So that's what we're trying to do in every workout: make the athlete faster, make the athlete stronger or more powerful, and increase efficiency. And that's how we end up improving speed. And for sprinters, it's all about speed, right? So not too complicated. That's what we're trying to do with sprints. And like I said, I'm going to put some more detailed documents, a PowerPoint or two that I use or that have been influential in my philosophy of training for sprints. And then a couple of documents also that kind of break down the different areas of sprint training.